Okay, everything I said about art being important without being divine. Well, the reason it's important, it's because it's a source of new ideas to come up, and artists were always the best source for new ideas. You can say that's actually the role of philosophers, but in effect, philosophy today is exactly in the same position as art. You know the phrase, excuse me for being philosophical, as if you are not really talking to the point. Less practical, and in many ways less true. But you see, we cannot change the way things are just by saying it's bad and it should be different. There is a reason why it became what it is. Just saying, let's make change, well, that's just doing a rain dance expecting rain to fall. We want it to be different, but we keep on doing what it is we're doing. Art is one example. Like, everyone knows art is something which you get the effect best if you go deep into it, and according to individual criteria that fit both your individual personality and the individual nature of the work of art in question. But somehow, when you evaluate the work of art, you don't judge it according to these criteria. Art today is evaluated according to financial means of evaluation. And when you judge work of art according to commercial success, you judge its value according to criteria which are uniform. Sometimes it's different. People think something is good even though it is not successful. But then when it does become successful, it validates their own taste. And then there are cases where someone might like an artist exactly because he's unsuccessful, and when he becomes successful, then he thinks he's sold out. There hardly are any cases where commercial success has nothing to do with how you evaluate a work of art. It's not wrong to be successful with your art. No, absolutely not. But there's no way to become successful and say something new. There simply aren't, in the web of public relations and media control, everything that is successful must be propagated through the media, and the media will not advertise or promote an artist saying something new which has not yet been tested to be safe. So you won't get new ideas from art. There are cases where there's money to be made even though these are new ideas. So what you will see is artists with new fresh ideas somehow driven to go into extremes, to create some kind of like a circus, to make provocations which make the message become too eccentric to be taken seriously. You won't get new ideas that you can practice in your own life. But still, those who evaluate what is an acceptable message, what is unacceptable message, you don't know who they are, don't get to challenge their agenda, and no artist is powerful enough without them to challenge them. So basically, you don't get new ideas from being philosophical, because that's not practical enough, and you don't get new ideas from artists, not from successful artists. So where do you get new ideas from? Ideas keep on coming in. Where do they come from? You don't know. And you don't challenge that. You can challenge your government, you can challenge the police, you can challenge the army, you can challenge an artist, but you can't challenge those who decide what are the new ideas in your head. And you never think about that. That's the point. Fuck art. Forget about art. Art is just a symptom. Same for philosophy. That's just a symptom. The system fighting against the drug use, against alcohol, against cigarettes, car accidents, people being too fat, too skinny, too stressed. The same system that appears to be protecting our lives is calling someone who died in the army a hero, or died as a fireman or as a policeman. That's a hero. And a person dying in a car accident, well, he's a criminal. So to die is not such a bad thing. Just a question for what purpose. If you do it for your own freedom, then that's bad. But if you do it for the freedom of others, then that's good. The US sends the army to fight for freedom. Think about it. The army is the most obedient organization there is. It fights for freedom for everyone else but its own, because it's not fighting for freedom of the soldiers, it's fighting for the freedom of someone else. So this kind of fighting for freedom is weird at best. Even if you think about those at home, what kind of freedom is that? Is that a freedom to do anything? No, it's a freedom to live according to the rules agreed, but that's just a small portion of the freedom you can get. The variety of choices you get, like left wing or right wing, that's not all the options there are to choose from, but that's all the options you have to choose from. If you want something else, you don't have the freedom to choose that on election day. It's a bit subtle, but you can hear that the media is telling you to rebel. That means that this rebellion has already been processed by those who give new ideas. This means that the rebellion is in fact obedience as well. So you can't rebel. All the angles are covered. This is the method that protects the core, which decides your new ideas. You can fight and waste energy, and the more you fight, you affirm it from a specific angle. Justice. You think no one touched that? Well, you're wrong. You have courts where people fight to prove someone is guilty, and on the streets, you have to fight to prove you are innocent. So where's justice? Most of the time, when we think about justice, it's only after we felt injustice. So maybe justice is simply not the issue. Think about the media. Always balanced, always showing both sides of an argument. And sometimes you think that it's biased for one side or the other, but I think that it's more biased when it's neutral, because it's saying that it doesn't matter which side of this argument wins. The most important thing is that the media will continue on covering it. But you don't think about that. You think, oh good, it's neutral. The system protecting your life, but no one protects you from buying something you don't need, which costs you much more than you can afford. And no one is advertising against advertisements. And you know it's bad. This is all the same thing repeating again and again and again on the most fundamental level of our lives. And I'm saying, to seize our potential, we have to crack down on that. We have to see through the method. I hope I'll help you with that. Cheers. See you next week.